Well, hello again, everybody. This is Matt from Fabrications again. I just wanted to give you guys an update on the Kickstarter campaign for the STK-01 Soft Top. There's 11 days to go. There's been some fantastic interest out there. There's still some slots available for the initial 10 kits. Again, if I don't get the 10 kit order, I'm going to have to regroup and look at other shipping methods that are going to probably dramatically increase the price. But let's not focus on that. Let's focus on some of the questions that I have received from people concerning the soft top kit. And one of the probably number one question in the videos and the content that I've put out on Kickstarter is there is a requirement to replace your factory roll cage, and the kit has no provisions or roll cages included. So people were asking questions of, well, how do I get a roll cage installed? Are there any roll cages that I can buy and just install in the Roxor with the soft top kit? And what I've done is a lot of research and development. I have a huge background in off-road, and especially a big focus. I've restored plenty of Jeeps in the past. So what that led me to was to take a look at roll cages from different Jeep models that would bolt in, no fabrication necessary, or maybe a little bit of fabrication involved, but might give you a little bit of options and playing around. And just before I break into these roll cages, why they're attractive to people are that if you select the CJ5, early CJ7 roll cages, you can get them for 50 to 100 bucks all day long. And some of the other cages, if you don't want a full family cage, and I'll explain what a family cage is versus a kid crusher cage. So what you would step into are cages for about 50 to 100 bucks, cages from 50 to 100 bucks, or cages from 100 to 150 dollars. So let's dive in here and get an understanding of these different cage styles and why they're attractive. This cage here is an early Jeep CJ7 cage. It was replaced and upgraded in mid to mid 78. And these cages you can find, because the nice thing is that these are the same thing as CJ5 roll cages outside of the side hole mounting brackets there, but the dimensions and everything are appealing. And why they're also appealing is that this thing, you just drill a couple holes and call it a day. There's no fabrication really required to install this roll cage outside of drilling holes. But then this is what is considered a kid crusher cage, because it doesn't really provide any level of protection like a family cage would for the rear seats. So again, this is a family side roll cage because you can see the B pillar, and then it's going down and providing that coverage for the rear. So these are very familiar styles. You see them sold as the ROPS package, is just this style, and then you have the full ROPS package per Roxor terms or Mahindra terms. So there are the options out there. And one thing to note when you are looking for roll cages, that you're gonna find this design here is CJ5 or CJ7. I haven't been able to source an older CJ3 or 3A roll cage. Purpose being is they're getting more scarce, and these you can find in junkyards or Facebook Marketplace, people selling a whole host of these. And then what Jeep did in late 78 production year is they went to a design to bring the roll cage closer to the driver's seat. And now you're seeing an extension going up. And what this extension does is causes a problem in the Roxor because it makes the cage too tall. As you can see, this cage, I mocked it up just to be level to understand the fitment. And then let's take a look at my artwork here. And what you're seeing here is I did some measurements on the Roxor. And what this line represents here is the floor of the Roxor. And this is the top of the wheel well on the Roxor. So what I did was I took measurements on a Roxor and a Jeep CJ7 from the floor to the wheel well, because if we take a look at this part, this is the part that's too long. So I had to see if you did want an earlier or later style post 78 CJ cage, what would you have to do to put it in your Roxor? So later on, you'll see me cutting this and making a plate to drop it in and make it level so I can remove these blocks and bring the cage down to fit under the soft top kit. But that will be a later part of the video here. And we take a look at the Roxor again. The key thing was to measure was the top of the wheel well and down to the floor. And you can see the measurement was 9 3/4. And then I took the same measurements on the CJ, and you'll notice the CJ floor is a little different than the Roxor. The Roxor's hits the floor and just pitches right up. Let me see if I can get the camera in there. And the CJ7 floor is a hair bit different. Is you have the floor and then it pitches up about just under 5 inches, comes in an inch, and then angles up to the top of the wheel well. So what I did was I took the measurement here, and then I took the measurement from here up to here, which turned out to be 15 7/8. And so I applied some 3rd grade math or 4th grade math. And I said, if the Jeep CJ7 is 15 7/8 and the Roxor is 9 3/4, what's the difference? Or what do I need to cut off of the bottom of this cage for it to drop down under? So that's 6 1/8. So now what I'm gonna do is go ahead and pull this cage out, mark this cage here, cut off 6 1/8 inches from here, and then drop the cage down, and then we'll take a look together if that was a good idea or a bad idea and see how well it fits here. And so let me stop the tape here, and then I'll remove this and mark it. Okay, after some creative metaphors and gentle words, I was able to pull this out. But again, well, my plans are to measure up here, mark it, and cut it off, and then we'll go ahead and sit it back in the Roxor and see what happens here. Okay, so back at it, what I did was I measured up, what was that, 6 1/8 inches from the bottom of the plate down to here, and I marked it and then wrapped the blue tape around so I know that it's going to be a straight cut, and then also marked where I'm going to cut it here with the bandsaw. So let's go ahead and cut this and see how it fits here. One down. All right. It looks like the measurements were good. And as you can see, that's clearly going to fit under the soft top kit here. Because let me just set the camera down here. If I take this center support. I put in the center support, and there's plenty enough room under the center support with that quick modification there. And one thing here that you also have to consider, and I'll go over to the plasma table and cut out some plates, that what you do is to make, when you're putting roll cages in to secure it, you make a plate with holes that you drill through the floor, and you get the same plate and sandwich it on the back, and then you weld this. Once you fit where it's going to be, is you weld this here, and that secures it a little bit better than the factory, because they just have nut certs that go through the body. But that's pretty much what you would have to do to install the family cage. And as you can see, I'm probably gonna, if I go with this cage, I would bring it back a hair bit, just to look at the people's heads and, you know, check fitment. But that's, you know, down and quick, dirty way that you could get a family cage in under your Roxor with the STK-01. And then the same thing with the newer, the post 88.5 CJ5, CJ7 roll cages. And the nice thing here are you already have provisions for your seat belts, like you do on the ROPS cage here. The bolt here, the only thing you would have to do is figure out a way how to secure, either cut this tab off and weld it on the cage, or figure out a way to anchor the bottom of the seat belt. But yeah, that's about it. It wasn't too bad to install it, you know, cut it down. And if you need more information about the plates, I'll try to show a video on that on my plasma table. I got some, or I have some plate there. I just need to draw it up real fast and cut that out. So, okay, everybody, I'm back. I just got done designing these plates really quick and cutting them out on the plasma table. And what these plates are for the mounting of the roll cage. What you do is you put one bracket here, and then you would weld along this side and weld the cage to it. And then what you can do is drill your holes through the plate here, and then take this plate and put it underneath and sandwich both plates together to hold the roll cage on. And these plates were really easy for me to make. So if you're contemplating buying the STK-01 kit and are looking at modifying a cage, and you have some fabrication skills, I can provide you with the dimensions of this, or I could work with you to ship out some of these plates I made out. But there's a million ways to solve this if you have somebody who's installed a roll cage before. And you know, again, I'm just hope this provides some answers and some solutions for those people for cage options. My next thing here is I'm actually designing a cage with this steel to come in and put it into my Roxor. So I'm looking at the cage coming up here, kind of spiking out here, coming in and drawing around there, and then coming as close to pieces as possible, as well as coming in off the cage here and running a spreader to the front windshield and either tying it into the windshield up there or creating a plate that comes down this channel and bolts in here without bringing a bar down and taking leg room out. So more to come on that as I work through and develop that. But you know, again, this is just a quick update, and when I start working on the cage and getting other things done, I'll create some more videos on that. But just really trying to get through the first round of this Kickstarter so I can you know, continue. It'll allow me to continue and develop cool things for the Roxor, like a grill that will bolt in like this one. I know I've mentioned it, but just really like the look of it, how it looks like an old CJ instead of the flat ones you can get. It just provides more depth, and you know, it's just more appealing to me and hopefully to other people. But again, thanks guys again for watching. Please, if you haven't ordered an STK-01 kit off of Kickstarter, please do that. And I'll talk to you later. Thank you.